Welcome to Our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show, we'd like to welcome Andrea Gallagher. She is the Executive Director of Senior Concerns, an organization here in Ventura County that takes care of serving seniors and caregivers throughout the region. Thank you so much, Andrea, for joining us on the show today. We'd like you to tell us more about your background. I know you're a senior advisor, a certified senior advisor on aging and caregiving, and also you've been a personal caregiver yourself. So we'd like to hear more about some of those things and all that you and your team are doing for so many people.
Okay, so I actually started in corporate America for 30 years.
Okay.
And then by accident, my husband and I became caregivers for our elderly neighbors.
Okay.
What started out as, can I pick you up something at the grocery store or hang your Christmas lights,
Right.
changed when she was diagnosed with dementia and he had a stroke, and neither of them had any family, no younger friends.
Okay.
And so we started to care for them, and over time we actually became their legal, financial, and medical powers of attorney, cared for them until their passing. And it changed my life. And I said to my husband, I've now sort of lived the life of an 85-year-old, through them,
right.
and of a family caregiver. And I said, in my next life, in my next career, I really want to do something in this
So
realm.
personal experience really brought you to the forefront of senior concerns.
Without a doubt. Not long thereafter, I joined the board, and I was on the board for 5 years.
Okay.
And then they asked me to become president. So now I'm staff, and I've been doing that for about 12 years.
Wonderful. So tell us more about the organization. This organization really does quite a bit for seniors and caregivers, which is such an important aspect. There's many people that have family and really need help with that. And this is also the 50th anniversary of your organization, which is an incredible feat to achieve. So we'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so it was started in 1975 by a bunch of concerned citizens who talked about serving the hidden elderly, people that lived in their homes but maybe needed some help and support to have live with dignity and independence.
Okay.
And not long there, that's right when we started our Meals on Wheels program. So we've been doing that now for 50 years. And over time, we just saw new needs. We developed an adult day program for folks with cognitive impairment, a caregiver support center, senior advocacy for seniors who need help signing up for public health benefits, or even just doing something on the computer that they didn't know how to do.
Okay.
And so we've grown now. We're serving about 13,000 seniors and family caregivers a year.
Okay. That's quite a bit, quite a bit. Tell me some of the biggest challenges facing seniors and, of course, caregivers today, especially here in our area in Ventura County.
Yeah, so part of that challenge is just that the growth of that population is so huge.
Right.
And just to give you an example, in the year 2000, we had about 38 million older adults over the age of 65. We now have 54 million. And by 2040, it'll be 78 million. So there's huge growth. And of course, with that and with longevity comes physical challenges and financial challenges sometimes. And family caregivers are, never thought that they were going to have to step up and care for an aging loved one that might be 80 or 90 or 100 years old.
Right.
So that in and of itself is a challenge. They might still be working caregivers.
Yes.
It's emotionally stressful. Physically exhausting, very rewarding, of course, but still a real challenge.
It's hard for families. I would imagine it's also a hardship financially, too.
It is. Oftentimes, family caregivers in particular have to step back from work or cut their hours from work. So they no longer are going to have, for instance, the Social Security benefits moving forward because of that. And family and seniors themselves have a real challenge because they're on a fixed income, but all costs are rising, right? Food costs are rising, utilities, housing, rent. And so just trying to manage that, and whoever thought that we were going to live to be 100, right? When you created your savings account many years ago.
That's true. And are there any financial assistance programs that Senior Concerns has for people?
So our Meals on Wheels program is either free or on a sliding scale. I'd say 75% of the meals that we deliver are free to the senior.
Okay.
Yes. Our adult day program is extremely affordable. Right now, for paid care in the home, it's about $40 an hour, but our daycare program is $15 an hour.
Nice.
And the rest of our services are free. Caregiver support, one-on-one information, referrals, support groups, memory screenings, free in-home help with repair things, maintenance that we do with the Rotary Home Team. So there's lots of services that are, totally free for the senior or the family caregiver.
Which is a big help, as I mentioned, to families who may have a hard time juggling this, and it could be a hardship for both, for working and trying to take care of a family member. It's not easy, so many people really need assistance.
Yeah, oftentimes what happens though is the family caregiver doesn't self-identify.
Oh, okay.
So they see themselves as a spouse or a daughter or a son. They don't see themselves as a caregiver. So part of our challenge is to help them self-identify, because then they will seek out services.
Okay.
So one of the things we have every year is Caregiver Appreciation Day.
Nice.
And the intent is to bring all family caregivers into a room to show them love, support, respect, and a little bit of education along the way, but to help them identify themselves as such so that they can get the services they need.
Let's talk about the Meals on Wheels program that you're talking a little bit about here, and how does this program play a big part of your organization?
So it is it's the foundation in which we started, and what it does is help to identify people in the community who need nutritional support, companionship, socialization, a daily wellness check. All of those things are part of the program, and of course we serve about 65,000 meals a year we deliver to 450 seniors, and that area that we cover Meals on Wheels is Agora Hills, Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, Newbury Park, and Oak Park.
Okay.
And we do that through the help of 200 volunteers who help deliver the meals for us.
So I would imagine many of these seniors really count on that program.
They do.
If they need help with their food program, this is something that they really look forward to.
Not only that, we have, through the generous donation of one of our donors, we now have a case manager, a social worker, 100% dedicated to those seniors that receive Meals on Wheels. So if they have other needs, transportation, low-income housing, other benefit programs, she's there to help guide them through that process.
Which helps a great deal. Many people don't know where to turn. That really says a lot. So the Meals on Wheels program can be either free or a sliding scale cost.
Yes, so we deliver through two different programs.
Okay.
One is at Country Harvest Restaurant in Newbury Park. That program is totally free. Okay. And the second program is at a Los Robles hospital.
Oh.
And that program is nice because it can be medically tailored meals. So if you need pureed food, if you need a renal diet or a diabetic diet, we can accommodate that. And there's some people that actually can afford the meal, and so they're happy to pay. But as I said, the vast majority of people receive their meals for free.
Great, always good to hear. How can people become more involved and help support senior concerns? Are there volunteer programs? Are there needs in the community to add more staff? What would you like to mention?
So the first thing I'd say is just to know about us is great. Oftentimes we hear from people, oh gosh, I'm at a dinner party somewhere and someone will say, I wish I knew about you guys when mom was going through something. So to be able to be aware that we're around and have our main offices in Thousand Oaks, it could be go view our website, take a tour of our facility. Invite us in to do a presentation with your Rotary group or your Kiwanis group or your school. And then also, of course, to donate. A lot of our funding is through donations.
Which is a big help to have that. And any funding, I'm sure, makes a big difference.
It does. And of course, right now, there's a lot of uncertainty out there
I know.
as to what's going to happen with federal funding. And we do receive federal funding, which comes down through the county for our meal program. So, we're just waiting to see what happens there.
Okay. What message would you like to give viewers about the importance of an aging community, which, as you mentioned, is growing continuously?
Yes. So as I say to everybody, I don't know another nonprofit out there that actually serves 100% of the community. Because if you're fortunate enough, you will grow old. Right. And chances are you will have a need of some sort or another.
Okay.
And so we're dealing with the entire population, and oftentimes we're dealing with people that help to build our community.
Sure.
They were the engineers or the doctors or the teachers. And so it's just so important that we can continue to provide them independence and dignity and support as they age within our community.
And it's so needed. I mean, they need it right now as, they're aging in place. Especially as you mentioned, in your caregiving experience, someone had no family. Then what? What happens?
And I look at that and I say, my husband and I weren't blessed with children, so it's just us. At some point, one of us will be a solo ager. Either he will pass or I will pass.
Okay.
And so to have a network, or at least an organization that you can go to, that is, you've got experts there and people that care.
Absolutely.
And can provide that help, just really important.
So what about people that want to volunteer?
So a lot of our volunteers are Meals on Wheels drivers, and so that would mean you need between Monday and Friday or Saturdays.
Okay.
You would need to have some availability to do that. And actually, everyone who delivers Meals on Wheels has to have a background check because we're dealing with a vulnerable population.
I see. Okay.
We also have a lot of events. We have a gala every spring. We've got our Love Run, which we just had. It's the first Sunday in June every year. That we need 220 volunteers for.
Okay.
That's about 2,000 runners. It's a 5K, 10K, 1 mile, and so we need a lot of volunteers for that.
That's great.
And then we have volunteers who help in our day program. So they might have one-on-one interaction with some of the seniors that come to that program.
Is there an age limit? I mean, can you be a teenager? Can you be a young adult?
You can be. And oftentimes what happens is whether it's grandma or grandpa or mom and dad, they might bring their teenager to deliver Meals on Wheels, or even their younger child.
What a great experience.
It is. It's really wonderful.
To teach them young like that. That's very good. Very good. I think the website is really key here. We would like you to mention the website and any contact information, so viewers can get in touch and maybe help out in some way, shape, or form. That would be really good.
That would be, so that would be fantastic if folks like to help out. We're at seniorconcerns.org. We're located at 401 Hodenkamp Road in Thousand Oaks, but we also have office hours in for instance, the See Me Senior Center, the Global Senior Center, and we end up, we also have a lot of outbound community support also and outreach out there.
Okay. So if somebody is interested, they can go to your website and scroll through and find out where they can be of help.
Yes, and so there's a whole volunteer page so folks can determine if there's a listing of all those types of duties, and certainly anybody's welcome to reach out to me at A. Gallagher, which is GALLAGHER at seniorconcerns.org.
Nice to hear. And again, that's so important. If somebody needs help for their family member, this is a great place to turn and find out more information.
Absolutely.
Very good. I want to thank you, Andrea Gallagher, of Senior Concerns here in Ventura County, making a difference for so many people out there. Thank you for joining us and sharing more about your organization.
Thanks so much.
Very good. And thank all of you for joining us today on Our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. I look forward to seeing you next time, everybody. Bye.